The Galactic Federation Hall on planet Xanthara was filled with leaders from over 100 star systems. Bright lights glowed above them, casting soft colors across their faces. Tall banners of different alien empires hung in the air, moving gently like they were alive. Everyone had come for the annual peace conference, a meeting meant to keep the galaxy safe and united. At the center, on a raised platform, stood Queen Virelia of Xanthara. She was known across the stars for her wisdom, beauty, and powerful rule. Her silver robe sparkled under the lights, and her calm eyes scanned the crowd. Everyone waited quietly. Even the most proud leaders did not dare speak while she stood. Queen Virelia raised her hand. Her voice echoed clearly across the hall. The time for words has passed, she began. For too long we have spoken of unity, but our actions are still divided. I have made a decision, one that will shock you, but it is necessary. Murmurs began in the crowd. The human representatives sat in their seats, unsure what she meant. Earth's ambassador, a woman named Sarah Lynn, leaned forward. Queen continued, to bring peace between Xanthara and Earth. To show that trust is more than treaties, I declare this. My daughters will marry humans. The hall fell silent. Completely silent. 1 second passed, then another dot, and then the room exploded with noise, whispers, gasps, angry words, and confused shouting. Leaders stood up. Some aliens blinked their extra eyes in shock. Others waved their arms, asking if they had heard correctly. Earth's side was no calmer. Ambassador Sarah Lynn stood in disbelief. Behind her, her assistant whispered, "Did she say marriage?" Back on the platform, Queen Virelia stood tall and firm. "Yes, each princess will choose a human, not for looks or power, but for honor, spirit, and the hope of peace." Back on Earth, the news spread faster than light. "Alien Queen demands human grooms," screamed headlines. Some people laughed, some were angry, others were curious, and some young men, seeing the princesses' pictures, began lining up to volunteer. The Xantharan princesses were famous across the galaxy. Princess Illyria, the eldest, was a fierce warrior. She had led battles against pirates and protected her people with strength and honor. She had no time for soft words or lazy men. Princess Salvi, the middle daughter, was a master of machines. She could speak to computers like they were pets, quiet, smart, and mysterious. She rarely spoke unless it was important. Princess Niari, the youngest, was different. She loved to learn, loved art, music, and Earth stories. She had never left her planet, but she often asked her tutors about humans. Her eyes always sparkled with questions. Back in a quiet office on Earth, one man looked at the news and didn't laugh. His name was Dr. Alex Mercer, a xenolinguist, a language scientist who studied alien speech and culture. Tall.com, with dark hair and curious eyes. Alex had always been interested in Xanthara. He wasn't a fighter or a politician, he was a thinker. His friend laughed. "You'd marry an alien princess?" Alex smiled. "No, I don't care about marriage, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to understand their culture from the inside." 2 weeks later, Alex stood on a landing platform on Xanthara. He had been selected, along with a group of other human males. Some were soldiers, others were rich businessmen, a few were celebrities who just wanted fame. But Alex stood quietly, observing the shining towers, the purple sky, and the strange musical sounds in the air. A royal servant led the humans into a great hall. At the far end sat Queen Virelia and her daughters. The queen watched them all, with cool, steady eyes. "You are not here to impress with strength or wealth," she said. "My daughters will not choose based on power. You will face the trials of harmony, a set of tests for heart, mind, and honor. Only those who pass may earn their trust." Some men looked confused, others rolled their eyes. One whispered, "Thought this would be easy." Alex, however, felt excitement. The princesses stepped forward. Illyria looked over the group with sharp eyes. She chose a tall soldier with many medals. Selvi scanned quietly, then nodded at a nervous scientist. And then Niari stepped forward. She looked around carefully. When her eyes met Alex's, she paused. "You are not the strongest," she said. Alex nodded. "No, but I listen, and I try to understand." She smiled. "I choose you." Later that evening, Alex was led to a beautiful garden. Niari met him there, away from the others. Floating lights danced above them, and soft music played in the background. "I wanted to talk before the trials begin," she said. "Most humans think this is a game. They want power or fame." Alex sat beside her. "That's not what I want." "What do you want to learn to help bridge our worlds?" "I believe peace is more than just papers. It's trust." Nairi's face lit up. You sound like someone I read in Earth's books. A man named Lincoln. Alex smiled. A great leader. He believed in unity too. Nairi reached out and handed him a strange glowing stone. This is a memory stone. If you pass the trials, I will share my memories with you, and you will share yours. Alex took it, understanding its importance. But not all was peaceful. Far away, deep in the mountains of Zenthara, a dark figure watched the broadcasts with anger. Lord Varnak, Queen Varelia's brother, had once dreamed of ruling Zenthara, but now, watching his sister join their bloodline with humans, he clenched his fists. This is not unity, he growled. It is betrayal. He turned to his secret followers. We will stop this, before a human sits beside our throne. Back at the palace, the humans slept in their guest rooms, unaware of the danger ahead. Alex sat by his window, looking at the twin moons of Zenthara. He didn't care about marrying a princess. He didn't want fame. But somehow, he felt this was the start of something much bigger than himself. Something that could change the galaxy, and maybe even his heart. End of part 1. The morning sun rose over the shining towers of the Zentharan capital. Twin moons slowly faded from the sky as the royal palace came to life. Music from gentle wind horns echoed through the gardens. Birds with crystal wings flew above the trees. Today was the beginning of the harmony trials. Inside the palace, the human guests were gathered in the Hall of Firelights. It was a large open space with floating candles and walls that changed colors based on emotion. Dozens of aliens and nobles sat in the balconies above, curious to see how humans would perform. Queen Varelia sat on her throne, calm and silent. Her daughter stood beside her, Ilaria, with her arms crossed, Scifi holding a small glowing device, and Nairi quietly watching the humans. A royal announcer stepped forward and spoke in both Zentharan and English. Welcome to the Harmony Trials. Each human chosen by a princess must face 3 challenges of mind, of courage, and of heart. The one who shows the truest harmony shall be honored. Alex Mercer stood near Princess Nairi. He looked around at the other contestants. There was Derek, a confident soldier chosen by Princess Ilaria. He stood tall with a proud smile. Then there was Liam, a quiet tech expert paired with Princess Scifi. He looked nervous but focused. Nairi leaned toward Alex and whispered, "Are you ready?" Alex smiled softly. "I don't know what's coming, but I'll try my best." First trial. The puzzle of worlds. The first test was of the mind. The humans were taken to the Library of Echoes, a place filled with holograms, alien symbols, and sound orbs that whispered ancient knowledge. Each contestant was given a cultural puzzle based on Zentharan history and their own Earth culture. Alex stood before a round table. A floating sphere in the center showed a map of Zenthara's old kingdoms and their battles. He had to find a peaceful solution that united them using Earth's history as a guide. He took a deep breath. "Reminds me of Earth's early kingdoms," he said quietly. "We didn't always get along either." Using a mix of Earth diplomacy, examples, and what he had learned of Zentharan laws, Alex created a plan that joined the kingdoms through shared language and trade. The judges nodded with interest. Princess Nairi clapped gently, proud of his creative thinking. Derek, on the other hand, broke a puzzle orb in frustration. "This isn't a real test," he growled. "Where are the enemies to fight?" Scifi's chosen, Liam solved a complex math symbol puzzle by rewriting part of the alien code with Earth programming logic. Even Scifi raised an eyebrow. Impressed. Second trial. The Walk of Courage. The second test was about bravery. Each human was sent into the Forest of Mists, a strange jungle where illusions tested fear. They were told to walk through it alone, and face what scared them most without weapons. Alex entered the mist. Around him, the trees whispered in strange voices. Lights danced before his eyes. Suddenly, he saw images of himself failing, being laughed at, losing everything. He stopped, heart pounding. Then he remembered Nairi's words. "You are calm. That is rare." He closed his eyes. He breathed deeply. "These are not real," he whispered. "Fear cannot control me." The illusions faded. He walked forward until the light of the exit shone ahead. Derek fought his way through, yelling and punching the air. He passed the trial but left a path of broken trees. Liam panicked halfway and turned back. He was gently taken out by Palace guard. Scifi looked disappointed, but not surprised. Alex emerged from the mist with a calm face. Nairi met him at the edge, holding a small glass leaf. "You walked through fear, not around it," she said. "That is rare." Alex took the leaf, smiling. Third trial. The gift of heart. The final test was different. Each human was taken to a village outside the palace walls. The village had both humans and Xentharons living together, traders, builders, and artists. That their task was simple: help someone in need. No guide, no rulebook. Alex walked into the village and saw a group of young alien children trying to repair a broken music crystal. It was a tool that played calming tunes to help the children sleep, but it had cracked. He sat with them. I can't fix this alone, he said, but maybe together. Using his knowledge of sound vibrations, some help from the local builder, and a little earth glue from his bag, they fixed the crystal by evening. As it began to play soft music again, the children laughed and danced. Meanwhile, Derek tried to impress the village by showing off earth weapons and strength. Some villagers were scared, others stayed away. Later, Queen Varelia asked the villagers what the humans had done. An elder smiled and pointed at Alex. That one. He listened to us. He helped without being asked. He left nothing broken. That night, the royal family sat together in a private garden. The stars above sparkled like diamonds. The trials were over. Now the princesses would decide. Ilaria looked tired. None of them are strong enough, she said. But Derek, at least, knows how to fight. Scifi shook her head. Liam understands tech, but he fears too much. I may choose none. Nyari looked at her sisters, then at the sky. Alex didn't just pass the trials. He respected our people. He spoke of peace. And when I gave him the memory stone, he kept it safe. Queen Varelia nodded slowly. Remember, daughters, these marriages are not only for show, they will guide our future. Choose with wisdom. Later, in his room, Alex looked out the window again. The city glowed softly. The stars felt closer than ever. He heard a knock. Nyari entered quietly, holding the memory stone. You passed, she said softly. Alex stood up, unsure what to say. I didn't expect to, he replied. I came to learn. Nyari smiled. And in doing that, you taught. She handed him the stone. Tomorrow, the final decision will be announced. But tonight, I just wanted to say thank you. Alex took the stone in both hands. Whatever happens, I'm glad I met you. They stood in silence. Two different beings from two different worlds, connected not by power but by trust. Far away, in the darkness of the mountains, Lord Varnock watched everything through a hidden screen. He turned to his followers. They grow closer, too close. Tomorrow we strike. End of Part 2. The golden sun of Xenthara rose again over the royal palace. Inside the crystal tower, excitement filled the air. The harmony trials were over. Today the princesses would announce their choices. Guards in silver armor stood proudly along the marble hallways. Servants moved quickly, decorating the ceremony hall with blue flowers that glowed softly. Musicians prepared their alien instruments. Floating orbs of light danced around them. The whole palace buzzed like a hive before a festival, but not everyone was joyful. Far from the palace, in the dark mountain caves, Lord Varnock stood with a group of masked followers. His red eyes glowed with anger. She dares to tie our royal blood to humans, he growled. Queen Varelia has forgotten our pride. One of his warriors stepped forward. What is the plan, my lord? Varnock raised a sharp crystal blade. Tonight we will stop the marriage ceremony. The humans will fall. The throne will return to me. He turned to a strange machine behind him, a large round device, glowing with purple energy. Begin charging the disruptor. When it fires, the palace shields will fall. Back at the palace, Alex was sitting quietly in the garden with Princess Nyari. The stars were still faintly visible above, slowly fading as the sky turned orange. I never thought I'd be part of something like this, he said. Nyar. I looked at him with calm eyes. You didn't try to win, you simply stayed true. That's why you passed. Alex looked down at the glowing memory stone she had given him. Will you choose me? Nyari smiled but said nothing. Then she reached out and gently touched his hand. You'll know soon. By midday, the ceremony hall was full. Aliens from all over the galaxy watched the event through floating viewscreens. Queen Varelia sat on her high throne, her silver crown sparkling. The three princesses stood beside her, dressed in traditional robes that flowed like water. The humans stood below, in front of the royal family. Alex, Derek, and a few others waited silently. The queen raised her hand. The hall fell quiet. Today, she said, my daughters will make their choices not for war or politics, but for unity, peace, and future hope. She turned to her eldest daughter, Princess Ilaria. Do you choose? Ilaria stepped forward. Her strong eyes looked over the humans, then she turned away. I have seen strength, but none carry the heart of a true leader. I choose no one. Whispers filled the room. But the queen did not look upset. Your choice is respected. Then she looked to her second daughter, Princess Selvi, do you choose? Selvi glanced once at Liam, the shy tech expert. She held a small silver device in her hand. I admired his mind, but not his spirit. I choose no one. Now the whispers grew louder. 2 princesses had rejected all the humans. Queen Varelia finally turned to Nyari. Princess Nyari, do you choose? The youngest princess stepped forward, her voice calm but clear. I do. She turned to Alex. I choose him. He listened. He learned. And he never saw me as an alien, but as a person. A wave of surprise moved through the room. Then came soft clapping, then louder cheers. Alex stepped forward. Stunned but smiling, the queen stood. Let it be known, Princess Nyari and Alexander Mercer are now united in harmony. The music started. The air was filled with glowing petals. The crowd clapped and cheered. Joy and peace seemed to spread across the galaxy, but deep under the mountain, Lord Varnak's machine powered up. Fire. Suddenly, back at the palace, the sky turned dark. The floating lights flickered. The music stopped. A loud sound shook the air. A deep, thundering boom. Guards shouted. Shields are down. Above the palace, black ships flew out of the clouds, dropping shadow like warriors on the ground. Screams filled the hall as aliens and guests ran for cover. Queen Varelia stood quickly. Defensive positions. Princess Ilaria drew her energy blade. So, it begins. Alex pulled Nyari behind him as guards rushed in. We're under attack, a guard shouted. It's Lord Varnak. The queen turned to her daughters. Get to the inner chambers. Protect the humans. Nyari shook her head. I'm not leaving. Alex looked around, trying to understand what was happening. Then, through the broken window, Lord Varnak floated into the hall on a hover disk, surrounded by his warriors. You've made a mistake, sister, he shouted. You give our bloodline to outsiders. You have shamed our history. Queen Varelia stepped forward. You are wrong, Varnak. This marriage brings peace, not shame. Varnak laughed. Then let's see how long that peace lasts. He raised his hand. Energy bolts shot across the hall. Guards blocked them with shields, but a few were hit. Ilaria jumped down from the platform and charged at Varnak's warriors. She moved like a dancer, every strike quick and powerful. Selvi used her tech device to bring defense robots to life. They formed a barrier around the royal family. Alex looked at Nyari. We need to help. I can't fight, but I can think. Nyari nodded. The shield generator. If we fix it, the palace defenses will come back. Together, they ran through the hallway, avoiding falling debris and sparks. Behind them, battles broke out between guards and shadow warriors. In the lower levels of the palace. They reached the shield core room. It was damaged by the disruptor blast. Smoke filled the air. Sparks flew from broken panels. Alex coughed. I need tools. Wires, anything. Nyari pulled open a box and handed him alien tools. Alex worked quickly, sweat on his face. If I cross this with Earth tech logic, it might restart the flow. He rewired 2 main nodes, twisted a glowing tube, and slammed his hand on the main switch. The room shook. Outside. The sky shimmered and the energy shield snapped back up. The invading ships hit the shield and bounced off. Cheers went up across the palace. Back in the throne hall, Ilaria knocked down Varnak's main guard. Selvi's robots captured the remaining rebels, and Queen Varelia raised her hand. Enough. Varnak looked around. His forces were defeated. His ship was trapped. He hissed with anger. You are all fools. Alex and Nyari returned to the hall. Everyone looked at them in surprise. They fixed the shields, a guard said. Queen Varelia stepped forward. You risked your life to protect this world. Alex bowed slightly. It's my world too. Now, Nyari reached for his hand. The queen nodded with pride. This human has earned not only a place in our hearts, but in our future. That night, after peace returned, the marriage ceremony continued. This time there were no interruptions. Alex stood beside Nyari, as the queen blessed their union with the light of unity, a beam that shone from the stars. As they stood there, hand in hand, one thought filled everyone's mind. Perhaps humans and aliens weren't so different after all, and perhaps the future truly would be brighter together. End of part 3. After the dramatic battle at the royal palace, peace returned to Xanthara. The people spoke for weeks about how a human had helped save the queen, the princess, and the whole kingdom. Floating news spheres showed Alex and Nyari smiling at their marriage ceremony. Across both Xanthara and Earth, stories of unity spread like stars across the sky. But with peace came change. And with change came challenges. Alex now lived in the palace as Neri's chosen partner. He was given a small but beautiful home inside the royal gardens. The roof was made of clear crystal that let him see the stars every night. Flowers grew along the walls, glowing with soft blue light. He often spent mornings learning Zentharan history from royal tutors. He also taught human ideas to curious Zentharan scientists, engineers, and students. It was a time of learning and sharing. Still, things were not easy. Some Zentharans didn't like seeing a human in the palace. They whispered behind Alex's back. Some said he didn't belong. Others said he was too simple, too emotional. One day, during a council meeting, a noble named Lord Telrose stood up. Queen Varelia, with respect, he said, "This human he may be kind, but he does not understand our laws, our past, our ways. Should he really have a voice here?" The room fell quiet. Alex stood slowly. He didn't raise his voice. "You are right," he said. "I don't know everything about Zen, but I'm learning. And I want to help build something good with all of you." Princess Niari stood beside him. "He risked his life for us. He deserves respect, not doubt." Queen Varelia nodded. "True unity means standing together even when we come from different worlds." Lord Telrose said nothing more, but Alex could see the doubt in his eyes. That night, Alex sat in the garden with Niari. "Do you think they'll ever fully accept me?" he asked. Nyar. I looked at him gently. "Some already do. Others will take time. Even among our people, change comes slowly." Alex smiled. "At least you believe in me." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Always." A few days later, message arrived from Earth. The United Human Federation requested a meeting with Queen Varelia to discuss possible trade, science exchange, and even joint space missions. It was the first official offer of peace and partnership between the two species. The Queen was pleased. She sent word that a formal Earth delegation could visit within one moon cycle. As preparations began, Alex was asked to serve as a guide for the humans. "You are from Earth," the Queen said. "But you understand us now too. You are the perfect bridge." Alex accepted the task with honor. When the Earth delegation arrived, it was a historic moment. The humans came in a sleek white ship. Ambassadors, scientists, and soldiers stepped out, their eyes wide with wonder as they looked around the glowing palace. Alex greeted them with Niari by his side. "Welcome to Zenthara," he said with a smile. The Earth ambassador, a tall woman named Madeline Cross, stepped forward. "You've become something of a legend back home, Alex." He laughed. "I just helped where I could." As the humans were shown around, small problems started to appear. One Earth scientist ignored Zentharan customs and touched a sacred tree. Without permission, a soldier laughed during a quiet ceremony, not understanding the moment's meaning. Niari watched quietly. "They are like you once were," she whispered, curious, but still learning. Alex nodded. "I'll guide them." The next day, a major event was held in the city square, a cultural unity fair. Humans and Zentharans shared food, music, and inventions. People laughed and danced. There was hope in the air. But as the sun set, a problem appeared. A group of angry protesters, both human and Zentharan, held signs and shouted, "Stop the mixing of blood. Keep Earth human Zenthara for Zentharas only." Guards kept peace, but the voices of hate were loud. One young protester threw a mudstone at Alex. It hit his shoulder. The crowd gasped, but Alex did not react with anger. He simply picked up the stone and placed it on the ground. "We are not enemies," he said calmly. "Fear makes people do strange things. But we can choose another way." The Queen later spoke publicly. "Change always brings fear, but let us not forget fear fades. Truth remains." The next day, more people joined the fair, standing against the protesters. They brought signs of peace, music, and light. Weeks passed. The Earth delegation returned home with gifts and promises of continued friendship. Talks of a joint space station began. Earth and Zenthara had taken the first step toward true alliance, but peace never lasts forever. One evening, while walking with Niari near the floating gardens, Alex heard a small drone buzzing overhead. He grabbed Niari and jumped behind a wall just in time. The drone exploded in midair. Guards rushed to the scene. An investigation began immediately. Queen Varelia called a special meeting. "This was not a random attack," she said. "Someone wants to break the peace between our worlds." Scifi checked the drone fragments. "This technology is not from Zentharo Earth, it's older and hidden." Niari frowned. There were whispers in the mountains of those who never accepted the war's end. Ilaria stood. "I will lead a mission to find them." But Queen Varelia turned to Alex and Niari. "You two are symbols of unity, and now, someone wants to destroy that. Be careful. Watch each other." That night, as they sat on their rooftop, Alex looked at the stars. I thought after the trials, after the battle, things would be easy. Nyari took his hand. Nothing worth keeping is ever easy. They sat in silence, the wind brushing gently through their hair. Above them, a new constellation blinked in the sky, named by both Earth and Xanthara as the Bridge of Hope. As the stars shimmered, a new feeling began to grow in both their hearts. Not fear, not doubt, but a quiet strength. They were not just partners, they were symbols, and their journey had only just begun. End of Part 4. The stars shone brightly over Xanthara, as Queen Varelia's palace prepared for a new day. But inside, a storm was brewing. After the drone attack, tension grew. The people whispered of hidden enemies, those who wanted to destroy the peace between humans and Xantharans. The queen had sent Princess Ilaria and her warriors to hunt the shadow group in the mountains, but no one knew if they had succeeded. Alex and Nyari felt the weight of their responsibility more than ever. One morning, while Alex trained with Xantharan warriors in the palace courtyard, a royal messenger arrived. His eyes were wide with urgency. "Your Highness, Princess Nyari," he gasped. "There is trouble near the city's outer rim. Strange ships have been spotted. They are not Earth nor Xanthara." Nyari's face hardened. "Gather the guards. Alex, you must come." Together, they rushed to the city's defense tower, where sensors showed ships approaching fast. They matched the technology from the drone, said Scifi, now the royal tech advisor. Old designs, but upgraded. They could attack any moment. The city prepared for battle. The strange ships landed just outside the city walls, sending out small landing pods filled with dark-clad soldiers. The attackers moved quickly, trying to create chaos. The Xantharan guards fought fiercely, their energy blades flashing in the sun. Alex helped wherever he could, dodging and shielding civilians. Nyari fought beside him, strong and graceful, protecting the royal family's home. But, as the battle raged, Alex saw something strange. These attackers didn't just want to fight. They aimed to capture the queen. Alex shouted to Nyari, "The queen must be protected. I'll cover her escape." Nyari nodded and took the queen to a hidden chamber below the palace. Alex stayed to fight the attackers. Inside the chamber, the queen looked at Nyari with worry. "This attack, it is from Lord Varnak's followers, isn't it?" Nyari nodded. "We thought they were defeated, but they were hiding and growing stronger." The queen's voice was firm. "Then we must end this now." Meanwhile, outside, Alex used his knowledge of human and Xantharan tactics to outsmart the enemy. He led a group of mixed warriors and small squads to push back the attackers. He spotted the enemy commander, tall figure in black armor with glowing red eyes. Alex crept closer and suddenly shouted, "This ends here." The commander turned, surprised. They fought fiercely, blades clashing and sparks flying. But Alex was not alone. Nyari arrived with reinforcements, her energy sword shining bright. Together, they cornered the commander. The commander removed his helmet, revealing a fierce face. "You humans and Xantharans will never unite," he hissed. "Our way is stronger." Nyari raised her sword. "Your way is fear and hate. We choose hope and unity." With a quick strike, the commander fell. The remaining attackers fled. Back in the palace, the queen addressed the people. "Today, we faced those who sought to divide us, but we stood together, strong and brave." She turned to Alex and Nyari. "To have shown us that love and courage can unite worlds. They are the future of Xanthara and Earth." The crowd cheered. Days later, Alex and Nyari stood on the palace balcony, looking at the stars. "We have come far," Alex said, "but I know the journey ahead will not be easy." Nyari smiled. "Together, we can face anything." As they watched, the constellation, the Bridge of Hope, shone brighter than ever, symbol of a new beginning, the end.